Hey guys, it's Nick again. This is episode 2 of the Prologue. Just wanted to give you guys a heads up before we start the video. No company has given me any money to advertise for them. Everybody on YouTube does this. I'm just assuming you knew that already, but I'll let you know. Let's get started talking about our gear. I'm going to start talking about my pack and all that stuff. So I hope you guys enjoy and learn something. Huge recommendation, whatever you're thinking about using, try it out in REI or someplace, some outdoor store, because if it doesn't fit in the store, it's not going to fit on the trail and you're going to be unhappy and have no fun. So let's go. So here's my pack. It's an Osprey Exos 48. It's a lightweight pack, about 2 pounds. It is a nice pack, does not have the waterproofing on it with it, so you have to buy that on your own, which is that. As you can see, I'm pulling it up, so showing you in the light. Things I like about the pack, it's pretty simple. The cushion system on the arm sleeves and the belt are really nice. It's got that really nice mesh back for the lumbar support, allows a lot of airflow, makes it so you don't lose as much sweat. There's really one big pocket you can take off the top portion, and other than that, it's a good little pack. Small belt for me, which is great because I'm not a big guy, and that way I don't look like I'm wearing the WWE Championship belt on my waist. Okay, there's the pack. Now let's talk about my sleep system. So in this one I'm going to include tent, sleeping pad, sleeping bag, and now that stuff. So let's get started on that. So here it is, a Marmot Force 1-person tent. It's a 2-pound tent, give or take. It's set up there in the picture in the light green. Comfortable tent. If I was a little taller, it might not be as comfortable, but good for my purposes. Now here's what's going to go in that tent. This is a Spark Serta Summit sleeping bag. Lower limits 35 degrees. Not a super warm sleeping bag. I sleep warm, that's okay. One of the things that's good to remember is you need something like a sleep insert in order to protect your sleeping bag from your skins, oils, and all that stuff. Another good thing to remember is a pillow. People forget about that or think they can do okay without it, but your neck's normally supported, and so over there, right there, I've got my sleeping pillow. It's a blow-up one. It's pretty nice. One thing to know is this sleeping bag cuts really deep at the feet, so if you're a little bit bigger, it wouldn't be as comfortable probably. So again, test your stuff out. And here's the final piece of the sleeping system. It's my sleeping pad. It's a Thermarest Neo Air. It's insulated, so it has one of those emergency blankets basically in the middle. So when you blow it up, it's helping reflect the heat at you. So it blows up to about 2 inches, which I really like. My other sleeping pad is only maybe an inch. It does taper a little bit at the feet, so you may want to check that out. It's really light, packs down into basically smaller than an Nalgene, and the one bummer about it is it doesn't have any of the blow-up air support, which so you got a lot of blowing up the pad itself when you're ready to go. But other than that, great sleeping pad. All right, so we got the sleeping gear, the tent, the pad, sleeping bag down. One of the things now we're going to talk about is the feet. And so let's talk about shoes, those things. So here we go. Before we get to shoes, these are trekking poles, super necessary, great help. Here are my camp shoes. They're water socks, super light. Further note, did not know they were shiny. Amazon picture was not as good as I thought it would be. Then we're going on to the Ultra Lone Peak. These shoes here are cut really wide. They have a foot shape. The other thing you should note about them that they are 0 drop. So if you have any plantar fasciitis or any issues with your calves or Achilles, don't wear these shoes. The other thing is these are gaiters, so these fit over your shoes. Really cool place to get them. You can get them everywhere, but like REI or whatever, but these are Dirty Girl gaiters. Really cool company. They fit over your laces, and these shoes are actually designed to have gaiters put to them. So really nice walking system. Should be pretty comfortable. Here's my food system, a propane tank, a screw-on stove, a titanium cup, and spoon. followed by underneath there's an insulated packet that I can put my food in. As it cooks, it'll stay warm. I know that food system can look kind of bare bones, but I'm really only boiling water maybe once, twice a day at the most. So I don't need much. I need a spoon, and I need a cup, and I need a way to heat it up. So super lightweight, pretty efficient. Don't have to carry a lot of fuel. Works really, really well. So there you go. And let's get on to clothing. Okay, so this is permethrin, and it's gonna get sprayed onto my clothes. Just something to remember, it lasts 6 weeks or about 6 washes. It'll help keep my carrying of DEET on the trail down, and it's just a nice way of getting some bug protection without too much issue. And then we can talk about my pants. I wear REI convertible pants. Some people like shorts. I like pants for just the options. I also carry compression stockings to the right there, 2 shirts, and I carry tights for sleeping in. I also carry underwear and socks, 1 for each day. Some people carry less. I am really cautious about my feet, really cautious about getting any sort of issues with the underwear stuff going on. So just that's why I do it. I also wear a hat. This is an outdoor research hat that I put a patch on. I am balding, so it's nice to keep the sun just a little bit off that and not have to wear as much sunscreen on the back of your head that you can't always tell if you're protected. So we just talked about clothes. Now I want to talk about some of the things that I did videotape, but I decided you guys probably didn't need to know all that stuff. Deodorant, toothbrush, toothpaste, sunscreen, bug spray, fingernail clippers, moleskin, duct tape, needle and thread for blisters. Just some things that I've experienced that I know I like to have on hand. But I know there's a bunch of other videos out there, and REI has a packing list. So there are some good resources if you're looking for something like that. I don't want to make this video too long. And some people are a little bit more minimalist. I personally am willing to carry an extra ounce of deodorant so I don't smell so bad. Again, what you carry is all up to you. The next thing I'm going to talk about are batteries and headlamps and all that stuff, because I'm carrying a cell phone, so how do I recharge it? It's a great question. So I'm going to take with me a rechargeable Anchor battery pack, and I'm going to take a Petzl rechargeable headlamp, and I'll take my cell phone. I use some apps on there with the GPS, and I use Audible for audiobooks and for some music, and I recharge it. I'll get about 3.5 charges out of the Anchor pack, which will be great for me because that's all about I'll need. So what kind of stuff do I carry to stay warm, to stay dry? Well, here's a couple things I have on hand. Alright, so I wear a puffy coat. 1, super fashionable. 2, super warm, has a hood. This is a new addition from last time. It's a little bit lighter than my last coat, has a hood, that's new. I'm going to carry a red beanie, and I'm going to carry gloves. They're wind resistant, water resistant. I've got a knitted shirt, which is a new addition because I'm not going to bring an Under Armour shirt nor like another loose shirt. So I'm basically trading 2 shirts for 1. Should be lighter. I think it'll be warmer, and it'll fit under my raincoat. It'll fit under my puffy coat, and I should be good to go. All right, we're getting towards the end, and I apologize if this is getting really long again. I really do mean for these videos to be short. Not keeping my promise. 2 more things I want to talk about. We've already talked about sleeping stuff, my pack, all that stuff in the past. Now we're going to talk about 2 really big things. The first one is going to be talking about water purification. I'm going to be taking 3 systems: Sawyer Squeeze, a platypus gravity bag, and iodine pills. The Sawyer's on the left, middle is platypus. Water is super big deal that I think people forget about. It looks beautiful, but you got to get some, and you forget that you need to purify it. And if you don't, you're going to get sick. And that's something that I think happened to me last time, is I contaminated myself with my Sawyer Squeeze. If you don't have a reliable water source or a way to get good clean water, you're going to be in a world of hurt probably. So good reminder, make sure you have a good source of or the ability to get to a good source of clean, drinkable water. Last thing I want to talk about, and I think it's the most important thing because a good friend of mine recommends it. Now, this is Sam Gamgee from The Lord of the Rings. It's not Scotty, nor is it Pippin, David, just so you might remember. And he used to say one particular thing about rope. And that's why I'm going to always carry a rope. So always have a rope with you when you go hiking. You never know what you're going to need it for. Now, if you're wondering what Sam actually thinks about rope, I'll tell you that one of the quotes from Lord of the Rings. "Rope," he muttered, "no rope. And only last night you said to yourself, Sam, what about a bit of rope? You'll want it if you haven't got it. Well, I want it and can't get it now." It's just about being prepared. Good thing for me is I learned from Sam, I'm going to have some rope. But make sure to think about what you're doing out there, what you might want to take with you. Research, watch videos, read some stuff online. Being prepared is really smart when you're going out and do something like this. There's a lot of things that talk about being prepared in the Bible. One of the parables that Jesus talks about, called the parable of the 10 virgins, is one of them. It's Matthew 25. I'm going to read the first 4 verses for you. "The kingdom of heaven will be like 10 virgins who took their lamps and went to meet the bridegroom. 5 of them are foolish and 5 are wise. For when the foolish took their lamps, they took no oil with them, but the wise took flasks of oil with their lamps." Really, the story in here is about being prepared. These 10 ladies were supposed to greet the bridegroom in the middle of the night. They had to have oil, they had to have lighted lamps, and 5 of them only brought a little bit of oil. And the other 5 had refills. And it just talks about how, certain people got to go to the party because they had oil. And that's just it, being prepared for the trail. One of the other things for me is I like to read. My trail name is Books. Long story short, I almost got a different trail name. We'll talk about that next week. But I like to read. I'm going to listen to a lot of audiobooks, but I am going to take a few paperback books. Maybe 1, maybe 2, not a lot each, drop. But that should be nice for me. A little bit of entertainment and something I know I'm going to want on the trail. So something to think about. Anyway, guys, thanks for listening. This is the second prologue video. One more prologue video, and then we'll get on the trail. So I hope you enjoy, and we'll see you next time.